Talking Shirts is presented in partnership with White Oak Cottage. For more information, visit whiteoakcottage.co.uk.
Welcome to episode number 108 of Talking Shirts. I'm Mike from Holdstock Shirts, and today we're going to take a look at this 2005 home shirt. Now, this is the 2005 Home Shirts Talking Shirts debut. It's not one that I've had the pleasure of giving the Talking Shirts treatment to before, so yeah, really looking forward to this episode. It's a relatively new addition into the collection. It is something that I have only had for a couple of months, and it does now complete a little bit of a line within the collection. So with the addition of the 2005 home shirt, I now have a representation of every single home shirt from 2002 all the way through to 2023. So as I've said, it was a gap in the collection, and as a collector, filling a gap gives me so much satisfaction. It's a really good feeling when you're able to add a shirt into the collection which up until that point hasn't actually been represented. So yeah, nice little tick in that box for this one. So as we've said, the 2005 home shirt, it was actually a tribute shirt. It was 25 years on from the success of Wembley 1980, so the club decided to try and replicate, in modern terms, especially for 2005, a rendition of that classic 80s shirt from Wembley. So as you can see, it is an all-white shirt with a very, very broad red band going through the middle. You can see that the Platform 1 sponsor is almost quite, as tall actually as the band. The fact that it appears in white with red detailing on the red band does really make that sort of pop off the shirt. The colour integration is absolutely fantastic as well. So that is a big win and a big tick from me. Other features that we've got going on the front of the shirt is we've got these, what used to be the turnover collar spot. On this one, it doesn't actually have the turnover collar, it just has kind of that V-neck. But we still have the Scarner sponsor, which has been embroidered in white cotton into the neck there. We've got the reinforced stitching. This is what stops the shirt from ripping. Very much a feature from shirts from this era. Usually does its job and does stop shirts from ripping. However, we have covered in the past a couple where it hasn't quite lived up to its expectation. However, on the whole, it's usually very successful. We have got a 25 years emblem, should I say. I'll pop a picture of that so you can see it nice and close. So that's obviously signifying the 25th anniversary of the Wembley 1980 game. We've got the Hull Kingston Rovers club crest with the words limited edition underneath, which I thought was a really interesting sort of addition to the shirt. When you think about it, it maybe didn't need that word in there. However, I can understand why they would go for it. We've got the SOS Office Supplies sponsorship. That has been embroidered into the shirt, as has the maker marker for Carlotti, which is kind of in that central spot. Always found this a really, not strange shirt, but possibly because of how broad and high the band is. The SOS Office Supplies and the club crest and then the 25 years emblem just above there, they seem really high up on the shirt. Very Kappa-esque for anybody that studies other kits from other sports and other clubs. Kappa always seem to put their branding quite high. I noticed it more sort of prominently during the 2023-24 football season, where Hull City have been supplied kits by Kappa, and a lot of their sort of branding and club crests and things does appear to be sort of quite high up on a shirt. So yeah, I did draw some comparisons to that. So as we turn this around to the side, you will probably have noticed that the shirt is really big and baggy on the mannequin, and you can really notice it, probably more so when you're looking at the sleeves. I mean, these things are absolutely massive. We've kind of become accustomed in the modern era for shirts to be much more sort of fitted and stylised than they were during the mid-2000s. 2005 was probably the last year of these really big, baggy, styled fitting shirts. In 2006, they were much more fitted, and then that did continue throughout to sort of where we are now. But yeah, this sleeve, absolutely massive. We've got another red band that goes all the way around. So again, it's kind of the front of shirt style and design that then is continued onto the sleeve here. Just above that, we have got bar and restaurant, Wagoners, Warren, near Kingswood. That has actually been embroidered into the shirt. And then within that red band, we've got 15 names. And the 15 names are the 15 gentlemen that represented Hull KR at Wembley in 1980. So we've got Dave Hall, Steve Hubbard, David Watkinson, Steve Hartley, Royal Holdstock, Mike Smith, Roger Millward, Alan Agar, Phil Hogan, Clive Sullivan, John Millington, Phil Lowe, Len Casey, Brian Lockwood and Paul Rose. So those names are replicated across both sleeves. And now we've got round to it. God, they don't sit very well on the mannequin, these ones, do they? You can tell here. So yeah, we have got intellectual print. So that has been embroidered sponsorship onto the sleeve there. And all of the details that appear on one side also appear on the other. So we have got the broad red band going round again with the exact same 15 names. Those that represented Hull KR at Wembley in 1980. So yeah, a nice little touch there. Before we have a look at the back of the shirt, here is a quick word from our sponsor.
White Oak Cottage is a 2-bedroom luxury holiday cottage set in the stunning Lincolnshire Wolds. It has 2 ensuite bedrooms, a hot tub, wood burner, Wi-Fi, electric vehicle charger and is pet friendly. It is ideally situated in the Wolds, yet only 15 miles from the coast and 25 miles from the historic city of Lincoln. For more information, visit whiteoakcottage.co.uk.
Welcome back to episode number 108 of Talking Shirts. Before the break, we was taking a look around the 2005 home shirt, and we are now here with the back. So as you can see here, that broad red band does continue all of the way around, something that we probably wouldn't actually get to see during this modern era. As you can see, we've got the number 11, which has been heat applied onto the back of the shirt. Now, because it has been heat applied in blue, on top of the red and on top of the white, it's not actually hard to read. It is actually fairly visible, but it would be a lot easier to see had this band have broken. Now, I'm not quite sure what the law was with regards to numbers and the colours during the 2005 season, but if this red band had have stopped at either side, leaving a nice big white block in the middle, we could have put red numbers on the back of here, which I think would have been a lot more visually pleasing. But there's nothing wrong with the blue. It's maybe me just being a little bit picky. Above here, we have got 3663, first for food services. This has actually been dye sublimated into the shirt. So along with the Platform 1 sponsor on the front, this one on the back, they are the only 2 sponsors on the shirt which have actually been dye sublimated. Everything else has been embroidered, possibly at a later date post manufacturing, but that is purely me just sort of speculating. There is a piece of reinforced stitching which comes all the way around here. You can actually see where there is a loose thread where it's kind of come off a little bit. That is just to reinforce that sort of neckline at the back again, just to avoid any sort of rips and tears. As you can see again from the back, it's such a big baggy fit. The way that the styles were during the mid-2000s, whoever played starting position number 11 at second row would likely have worn this shirt. A few names that quite possibly could have worn this shirt. The main one being Andy Raleigh. He played probably the most games at number 11 for Hull KR during the 2005 season. He did actually score a try in the cup final against Castleford. Not in this shirt. There were specific shirts for that cup final, a slightly different design even, that was used on that day. So yeah, most definitely wasn't this shirt, but it was just a notable comment when doing a little bit of research that I happened to come across. Dale Holdstock was somebody else who also wore this shirt. Again, well, I say wore this shirt, wore this number. There's no necessary guarantee that it was worn by him, which, you know, when it's got his dad's name on the sleeve, you know, that's obviously a nice little touch for him, had he have played in this shirt as well. And Jason Netherton was another name who did make some appearances at starting position number 11 during the 2005 season. So again, potentially a shirt that was worn by Jason, but again, there's no real concrete evidence for me able to support any of those claims. It's purely just a comparison of who played at number 11 in starting second row during the 2005 season. So yeah, that's been your tour around this 2005 sort of home shirt. One that's sort of difficult to kind of like manipulate when it's on this mannequin. Like I say, it's so big and so baggy. It's probably something that a big lad like me would actually get away with wearing. But you're probably aware that I choose not to wear match-worn shirts where possible. There's the odd occasion where I have decided to chuck one on in tribute or in support of a certain thing. But yeah, most definitely not something that I would make a regular thing of. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Talking Shirts. Like I say, it's a new shirt for us to be able to have a look round and sort of give you a nice close-up look of. So yeah, Hope you've really enjoyed this episode. Check back in another couple of weeks' time where I'll be back with a brand new episode of Talking Shirts. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.